attention, people, because Fleem is the greatest thing to happen to Magic the Gathering. Part of the Through the Omen Path set, the character itself has taken the internet by storm due to a meme. And although this is largely a positive thing, it actually is because of the problem with current story in Magic the Gathering. Let's talk about why Fleem is actually a great thing for the future of Magic and why we need to be pushing things like this and ignoring the bigger issues of loot and the forced Cut-ification of the game. To understand who Fleem is, you got to start with Norman Osborn. Okay, Norman Osborn from the Spider-Man set. When Norman Osborn flips over, turns into the Green Goblin. Okay, very, very simple. You know who the Green Goblin is if you're a Spider-Man fan in general. Cool. Now, if you want to learn who Fleem is, you got to go to Gobin, Gene Splice Servant. All right, Gobin, you're splicing genes, you're making things. When you flip Gobin over for 4 Grixis and 1, you flip over into Fleem, Gobin's creation. Now Fleem, cute as all heck, super monstrous, but big old smile, beady eyes. Fleem is a cutie. Okay, Fleem is just there to have a good time, just vibe out. And Fleem has taken the Magic internet by storm. For those of you unaware and are not chronically online, Fleem has blown up in Magic so much that Wizards of the Coast has actually taken attention to it and have addressed it. Because of this Reddit post, it says we should absolutely make this guy popular. The Through the Omen Path version of Green Goblin has been spoiled today, and it's the little goblin creature named Fleem. I think it would be incredibly funny to elevate Fleem to the status of character like Fibblethip, and Fibblethip, rightfully so, deserves this. Here are some reasons I think you should join me in this task. If it got genuinely popular as a phenomenon, it could make Wizards reprint him in other sets, which could lead to a rise in quality and frequency of universes within stuff. Very valid, 100% am behind this. Even if we don't get actual reprints of Fleem, this Fleem Goblin's creation, we could get a Commander product down the line, a Commander set with a legendary Fleem in there. And that could just be a mono red Fleem. It could be a Rakdos Fleem. It could be maybe even a full Grixis Fleem that is completely different, that cares about the graveyard in some way. And again, it just brings characters to light. We may not get an actual printing of this, but we get the popularization of characters made from Through the Omen Path, which shows that Through the Omen Path and the effort made to design these characters and the world around them are so important. I talked about this in a previous video, but just the lore around the set, the world where people are riding spiders and the history of the destruction of said people, like, it's cool, it's great. There's a lot of cool things happening. It's just not fleshed out, and I think it needs to be. It could also represent the enfranchised players who like blue universes within. I was gonna say blue-white universes within, or is just a beloved silly guy. It'd be funny to essentially make a board of directors that could probably all be mature adults talk about Fleem. Imagine it. Imagine a board of old dudes with white hair and $1,000+ suits, all astutely listening to the critical information about Fleem as they all look at his stupid, goofy face on a massive monitor in their meeting room. Yes, stick it to the board, right? Stick it to the board of directors. All in the name of anti-capitalism or whatever. Things you can do. Use Fleem decks in Arena. Proxy Fleem for paper or use its art for goblin tokens. Mention Fleem elsewhere. Don't harass people, but maybe mention Fleem of WotC Hasbro company accounts. Spread the word of Fleem. And that is what we're going to be doing in today's video. Magic players have already done this pretty successfully. I'm going to leave enough vote here. But I'm going to do my part in spreading the good name of Fleem for a good reason here. Fleem itself has had so many memes on Magic TCG. It blew up on the subreddit, countless memes, you can look them up, but you have ones like this. Opening Reddit today, literally Fleem memes everywhere. It's absolutely amazing. Wait a minute, there's something bothering me about this place. I know, the Fleem bar doesn't have a fire exit. Enjoy your death trap, goblins, right? And I think one of the memes that really stood out to me was this one. You know, what marketing thinks we want. What Wizards marketing thinks we want is we want this crazy evil looking thing. What we actually want is Fleem. Let me know in the comment section down below. Sound off down there. How many people would ride out for Fleem? Would ride out to death's end for Fleem and just wouldn't even bat an eye for loot? Because I'm in that party. I'm part of that crew. Fleem is so great. Fleem, Fibblethip, lit. Loot, L, big L, stonks down for loot right now. And for many reasons. and many reasons that just don't even make sense in the story right now, which feels even more disconnected thanks to Universes Beyond. Right now, Wizards of the Coast has made an effort to push loot in many ways, but there is an attraction for Fleem, and Wizards of the Coast again has noticed it. The buzz on Reddit itself, a lot of Wizards employees and big names in Wizards frequent these spaces to get a good gauge of what the community sentiment is around certain products, and if Fleem is gaining this attention, as we're going to see, rewards are to be had. But that doesn't mean that they completely give up on loot, because loot was in here for a reason. It was something part of the story. Loot, the key to everything, literally in its name, you know, a vault of ultimate prizes wasn't exactly what Kellen had imagined, kind of alluding to the fact that within Loot's mind is, it used to be this chaos that Jace would be able to look into people's minds and see a chaos of different matrices and just a big jumble of things that Jace would have to try and make sense of as a mind mage. But when Jace looked inside of Loot's mind, he saw an infinitely vast, cavernous room of crystalline structures and a room of just essentially infinite knowledge, right? The key to the Omen Paths is in loot. And that's how they try and force loot into the story. The Omen Paths, for those of you that don't know, is the opening of pathways to all planes for all people. You do not need to be a planeswalker in current Magic story to planeswalk or travel to other planes. You can openly access any plane. And that's why you see cards now in sets with elephants and animals. And the reason I bring that up specifically is the fact that in the Strixhaven set, we got these, you know, kind of animals that would go to different schools or things, like kind of like in a Harry Potter Hogwarts-esque way, and they would go to these, you know, they would become recognizable, they become fan favorites, and we even got it through Bloomburrow. And now we see these things in other sets as well. If you go look through the Omen Path sets, we actually see people at different planes in the Through the Omen Path set. They are interacting with different people. And so because you don't need to be a planeswalker to go to different planes, you don't need to be stuck in telling the story through a certain group of people that a lot of people were frustrated with. And to be fair, that's because of bad story writing. They even try to screw over like people like Brandon Sanderson, who was trying to write lore for Magic the Gathering, who they got on board with it. Why would you be trying to screw over one of the best fantasy authors of our time right now? Wizards of the Coast just doesn't have their heads on right? And it's because of the board of directors. And so again, through this video, we're going to try and force them to talk about Fleem. The Magic story is central to loot because that vast crystalline structure is said to be the key to understanding the Omen Paths, the map to the Omen Paths, a way to understand, close, open, whatever it is. The story is central to the key to everything, which is loot. And so he hasn't really made too many relevant appearances in the story or made too many big waves, you know, and like he hasn't been affecting that. And the problem is, like, even if he could, that's not broken up because of Universes Beyond. We have a certain amount of universes within sets and a certain amount of Universes Beyond sets. So the frequency at which we get to see loot, care about loot, and understand what role he plays in the story is just a lot less. We got him in short little bursts, and now we haven't gotten him in a little bit. We just got Spider-Man. So where does loot even matter? This is forced cuteness, right? This is a scary little demon looking thing that I barely care about. I guess he's got a smile, but the way the gums are showing, the tiny little teeth, the big beady eyes, it's freaky stuff. It's freaky stuff, right? Some people might find this cute, but it's not, I'm not, that's not me. That's not me, okay? Fleem though, it's cute in just like the ugliest way. Just it's amazing. I love Fleem. And because of this, we see the forced marketing of something similar to Baby Yoda. And the reason I say Baby Yoda specifically, as a Star Wars fan, a lot of casuals still only know this character as Baby Yoda, because we only knew that his name was Grogu in like mid-season 2 of The Mandalorian. It took like years essentially to even like get there for so many people, and this still hasn't for many. This character is Baby Yoda. And so that is a highlight of the lack of understanding of what's going on in the Star Wars story and its relevance overall. And that's due to a couple of factors with, you know, the failed direction of the CEO and, you know, the dropping of the story of the Rey Skywalker storyline. And like, oh my God, there's so many things going on with Star Wars. I don't want to go into that, but the Baby Yoda angle was a successful one, but it had its flaws. A lot of people bought Baby Yoda merch. They thought it was cute. Like, Baby Yoda was a net positive force. And so to kind of get on top of that, you can see how loot was kind of pushed as this little guy with big knowledge, kind of like Baby Yoda, kind of like Grogu. And so exemplifying the idea of, you know, trying to buy merch, get these loot cards, care about loot, all this stuff. And some people have fallen for it. I personally haven't. I love me some Baby Yoda. I love me some Grogu. I don't love me loot at all. And you can see where the parallels are. And the disconnects are also there. It almost kind of follows one for one. There's so many problems with the marketing of Baby Yoda and where he stands and how he even lived, and so many retcons to what was supposed to be the absolute annihilation of the Jedi Order. And years later, it's always a retcon of another Jedi survived. Oh, this one survived. Oh, this one, blah, blah, blah. You just, so many things change just to make things like this work. Just like loot. Just like freaking loot. And because of that, we see the popularity of it. In the latest Arena Anthology notice, like, look at this, Fleem is feeling the love. In fact, he's a bit overwhelmed by the enormity of the MTG Arena community's affection for him. We could use your help in gently nudging him out of his seclusion and getting him used to his new status as a multiversal icon. If you complete at least one of the following activities before September 30th, we will send you a special Fleem avatar sleeve and sticker cosmetic on October 1st. Open 10 or more through the Omen Patch store packs, play in 1 or more through the Omen Patch Draft or Steal events, purchase through the Omen Patch Mastery Pass. You know, join us in celebrating the invaluable maxim we all know to be true: the Fleem always rises to the top. Fleem supremacy. And Wizards of the Coast is taking notice of this. It's like one simple Reddit post, one simple thing created such a positive wave of excitement that now the player base is even more rewarded for it. Did we get anything like this for loot? No, because the loot character freaking sucks. The force marketing sucks. No one cares because the story is disconnected. No one's cared about Magic lore in a very long time, if at all. You had multiple opportunities to do so. Then we had the Chandra Nissa kind of scandal going on. Brandon Sanderson being nixed from the story. The story overall just honestly falling apart. The story is good. I've heard anecdotally from people that the story is actually good. It's just not marketed well or connected well, in my opinion. The story is there. People just aren't given a good reason to care about it. Fleem could be a good direction to do so. And even in Mark's blog talk, Mark, the people want more Fleem. We need more of Fleem. When are we getting to see Fleem again? He says success breeds repetition. So if Fleem succeeds, we're going to see more Fleem. Folks, Fleem is at the top. Let me know how you're feeling about Fleem in general. Are you in love with this character? Do you like him better than Loot? Do you like Fleem worse than Loot, or whatever it is? Do you like none of this at all? Let me know in the comment section down below. I just thought, you know what? It's a good time to talk about probably one of the more positive aspects of the Magic community more recently. And again, Fleem rises to the top.